The Bible does not indicate that in the strife between Lot and Abraham in chapter 13, Abraham was wrong. However, I believe that in a very deep sense, Lot's feelings were hurt. Here I will say a word to the leading brothers. It is a very difficult matter to deal with the brothers. Abraham did nothing wrong in dealing with Lot, but simply because he dealt with him, Lot would never return to him. Abraham never forgot Lot. When he heard that Lot had been captured by Chedorlaomer, he led the fight against the kings and rescued Lot. When Abraham learned that God was about to destroy Sodom, he interceded for Lot. In chapter 19, verse 27 and 28, Abraham rose up early in the morning and looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah because he was so concerned for Lot. Nevertheless, because of his hurt feelings, Lot would not return to Abraham, but could say, I have nothing to do with you. Even though you brought me back from captivity, I will never return to you. When Lot was delivered from the city of Sodom, he did not consider returning to Abraham. If he had returned, his life would not have had such a pitiful ending. I am burdened that the young brothers and sisters will see that it is dangerous to descend with and to leave the older generation in the Lord. When, as a child, I was rebuked by my mother, I would turn my face away from her for several days. I was wrong, and I knew that she had rebuked me in love. But simply because she rebuked me, I refused to see her face. The principle is the same in the church life. Although others may love us, we do not like to be rebuked by them. I have learned that rebuking others builds up enmity. I spoke a frank word in love to certain brothers, and my frankness offended them. This might have been the reason why Lot would not return to Abraham. There is no indication in the word that Lot thanked Abraham for delivering him from captivity. It might have been that he would not give up his hurt feelings and humble himself. We should not insist upon holding on to such human feelings. We, unlike Lot, should humble ourselves, lose our faith, and return to Abraham and remain with him. The sooner we do this and the more we do it, the better. Drifting into a situation which was wicked and sinful before God. Lot drifted into a situation which was wicked and sinful before God. Once you leave the source of spiritual influence, you will automatically go downhill. You will never go upward. Never forsake the proper spiritual influence, for it is your protection. If you give it up, you will lose your protection, and like Lot, will drift downward into Sodom. In spite of the fact that Lot knew Sodom was wicked in the eyes of God, he eventually entered into the evil place and lived there. Ur of Chaldee was a place of idols. Egypt was a place of worldly riches and pleasures, and Sodom was a city of sin. These three places form a triangular boundary around the land of Canaan. We, God's called ones, live within this triangle and must be careful lest we fall back to the city of idols, go down to the place of worldly pleasures, or drift into the city of sin. Although Lot stayed away from the land of idols and the place of worldly pleasures, he drifted like a piece of driftwood into the city of sin, sovereignly warned by being captured. Lot was sovereignly warned by being captured. God was merciful to him, not allowing him to live in Sodom peacefully. As a warning and a discipline, God caused Lot to be captured, rescued from captivity by the Lord's overcomer, but not helped to come back to the way of God. Although Lot was rescued from captivity by the Lord's overcomer, he was not helped to come back to the way of God. For a long time I was troubled by Lot not returning to the way of God. He might have been stubborn. Do not think that passive people are submissive. Nearly all the passive ones are rebellious. Lot did not learn the lesson, and he did not return to God's way, going back to live in the wicked city which was condemned by God and was to be destroyed by the judgment of God. Lot went back to live in the wicked city which was condemned by God and which was to be destroyed by the judgment of God. Lot did not go there to visit, he went there to live. When the two angels came to execute God's judgment over Sodom, Lot was sitting in the gate of the city, in contrast to Abraham, who was sitting at his tent door. According to ancient custom, whoever sat at the gate of the city was one of the elders, for only they had the privilege of sitting there. Lot became a leader in Sodom. Suppose the Lord or his angels were to visit you, where would they find you? Sitting at your tent door or at the gate of the wicked world? Where you are sitting determines whether or not the Lord will come to you.